Well, hello again, and welcome to one of the better shows we have. What am I saying? Better shows. They're all good shows at the Sports Box, but the only opinion that matters is right here. I am Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner Brian, the Ranger at Tard, bringing you another fabulous special that we like to do, and unfortunately the guests we bring on have a little bit of different opinion on that. Today is called Cleaning Up the Mess, and we're going to talk about that barn burner last night, Tennessee against Jacksonville. Oh, just dreadful, and the uniforms were god-awful, and we'll talk about them with our guest. Our Jacksonville guy, Buddy, and who we thought in the beginning of the year, whose team was going to be sitting on top of their division, but is not right now. Let's talk to Princeton Joshway. Princeton, you there, buddy?
Yes, I'm here. How you guys doing, Mike and Brian?
Oh, man, we're doing fabulous.
Better than you right now, I bet.
Yeah, absolutely, man. First off, I want to say, another color burst night. What in God's name were those jerseys they were wearing? Come on, they got to throw them out.
Yeah, you know, I've been hearing a lot about the jerseys. I heard like Dijon mustard, baby poo.
Yeah, and
those jerseys are really bad.
And they matched the shoes with the outfits. That was even. Anyway, we won't get into that. Anyway, you know what, Princeton?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that anymore.
Hey, Princeton, hang on a second. I missed a segment here.
Yeah, he's got to throw something to make himself feel.
I got to throw something, give myself a little attitude there. All right, Prince, let's talk a little Jacksonville Jaguar. I know you're dying to talk Jaguars. You know, in a blink of an eye yesterday, it was 27-0, and we talked before the show about this team. I mean, you could point to a lot of different things where the defense has let the team down, where the offensive line is not giving Bortles any time at all, and the rushing attack is abysmal. I thought we talked, Brian, about it.
Yep.
Brian Bortles was their number one rusher yesterday. What, in your opinion, what's going on with this team right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of different things going on right now. It's very disappointing to even watch, you know. Everybody had so high expectations from this team early on, and they're just not living up to it. And I mean, it starts with the players to me. I don't want to put it all necessarily on the coaching staff. They're doing their job. The players had to come out and perform, and they didn't do that yesterday. It was really embarrassing to watch. They didn't give an all-out effort. So, I mean, you don't give an all-out effort, that's what's going to happen. You're going to get stomped in the ground.
Yeah, you know, 14-point loss, you know, on the road in Tennessee, which honestly I think the game was a lot further apart than the score would indicate, given the comeback that the Jags had in the second half. But Mike, you mentioned it. Blake Bortles was a leading rusher in that game for the Jags with 22 yards. I mean, that's a hard way to win games if you can't get anything going on the ground.
Exactly.
But Princeton, I mean, do you think part of that was because, you know, in the first half, the first quarter was kind of slow, but then Tennessee really poured it on in the second quarter. Jacksonville couldn't even get on the board until the third. Do you think that the fact that, you know, Tennessee was leading 27-0 at the half might have played a role into why the Jags didn't really have a chance to run the ball that much?
Yeah, usually when we have those slow starts, we don't have any choice but to put the ball in the air, and I feel like it should be the other way around. I feel like we got to get our receivers in the game earlier and get that passing game going and then set up the run. It's the other way around for where we're trying to start the run, and I don't know if it's the offensive line or the play calling or the running backs, but it's just not there. And I expected better things out of Chris Ivory and PJ Young and the offensive line to get this offense flowing, and it's just not happening.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, last year or the year before, you signed a big name in Thomas. They signed Malik Jackson in the offseason. You think, and we talked about it, Princeton, this defense on paper is nasty with Fowler there and Ramsey. Yeah. I mean, you've got a lot of guys back there that can make some plays, and really, I think, like we said in the preview again, that we're going to make some noise this year, but they are not stopping anybody right now. Do you think it's a combination of that? This team is just quit on the coach, or is it a matter of maybe they're just not that good?
I want to say maybe some of the players might have quit. It's still early in the season to quit. I mean, you're playing the AFC South. I mean, there's still hope. Look at the Titans. I think they're 500 after that game last night. Yeah. So there's hope for every team in the division. It's just who wants to rise and just take it. The defense was just horrible yesterday. I mean, just simple things that you learn at a young age. Set the edge. Make sure you're not giving up outside. Marco Murray and Derrick Henry just had their way in the running game, and we just didn't play discipline. They weren't disciplined. They weren't focused. I mean, and some guys didn't give an all-out effort.
Yeah, and I think one offensive play I saw right before the half that kind of defines the moment of the game is that Bortles rolled out of the pocket. He had all the time in the world. Nobody was around him, and he had Allen Robinson wide open in the flat in front of him. He went to throw the ball, and he dropped the ball about 3 to 4 yards in front of him. And I'm just like, wow, he had time, and he still can't get to some guy. Either that's nervousness or they just don't have confidence right now.
Yeah, and to me, it almost all falls on Bortles after what I saw yesterday. It's got to be a confidence thing. He's not stepping in the throws. His throws are, they're not. He's not throwing with confidence. The balls are fluttering into the ground. Yeah. I mean, that's unacceptable. We have elite athletes for our running back position, wide receiver position. There's no excuse to be throwing the ball on the ground. And he has to perform. You're the number 3 draft pick, and you're not showing that you're at that elite level. We played Derek Carr last week, and he outperformed him. I mean, he's just not performing. And I'm at the point where I'm looking at Lamar Jackson from Louisville and the Clemson quarterback, and I'm like, we need somebody that can turn it up a little bit more in our offense.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned. I mean, Bortles probably had the ugliest 337-yard game I think I've seen in the NFL in quite some time. A lot of garbage time there, but
yeah, and he's pretty much a garbage time quarterback at this point, especially for fantasy. I hear it a lot from all my friends. Like, especially when we're playing down, that's when his numbers come up because he has no choice but to put the numbers up.
Well, so. You mentioned fantasy. You know, we do a lot of that here on the Sports Box, and one guy who we were all very high on, I think, coming into the year was Allen Robinson. And if you look at the numbers he's put up this year, they haven't been good at all. I think he only has about 3 touchdowns this year. He had 70 yards last night, but again, a lot of that was in garbage time. You know, he's somebody who a lot of people thought was a breakout guy, late first, early second round pick in a lot of drafts. You know, I guess from what you've seen, I know that, you know, Bortles is getting trashed right now because I think something's the way he holds the ball or the way he throws it. There was some analysis on that. Are Robinson's ills his fault or Bortles' fault, in your opinion?
It's Bortles. I believe it's Bortles. It all lays on Bortles. The receivers are doing enough to get open, doing their job. He has to do a great job of hitting the receivers. And, I mean, also the play calling. The play calling has to be better. Yeah, just all around, it just got to be a better effort. Bortles his throwing motion almost looks like Tentino to me. It's too slow.
Wow.
Yeah. So it all lays on the quarterback at this point. The play calling also.
Yeah, you know, and I can feel you, Josh. Believe me, Josh. I can believe you at Princeton because I went through this with the Buccaneers before with Josh Freeman. You know, him struggling, but here's the thing with Jacksonville again. Now, here's a franchise that's been struggling for a while now. If they would have won last night, they're back in the hunt. That division is so bad. If you're Jacksonville, do you got Bortles with 1 more year on his deal? Do you at that point bail again on another quarterback and start over, blow out the coach, and start all over, or do you try to patch this mess up? Because if you look at the big picture of Jacksonville, I don't think they're that bad. I just think they have no direction right now. I just think they're all over the place. And maybe Bortles is the problem. But in your opinion, do you want to blow Bortles out next year, or do you want to maybe give him one more shot next year to see if he can turn the ship around?
That's tough. I mean, there's so many different places you can point the finger.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give him another chance. I wasn't high on him on the draft. He kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I would try to save his career and keep him with the franchise and possibly just get rid of the coach and find somebody that can really mold him into the quarterback that he's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think Gus Bradley's lost his team.
Yeah, you know,
I really think he's lost his team.
I mean, when the owner has
and I'm a big fan of Gus Bradley. I don't want him to go because every time I hear him talk, he says the right things. He's doing the right things. He's very energetic when he's talking. I don't want to blame the coaches. It's not on the coaches to make completions and score touchdowns. Those guys have to follow from what the coaches are saying and put it into motion. So, I mean, yeah, Gus Bradley's a good guy, but I think it's a change. Maybe Tom Coughlin can come back.
Oh well,
what's old is new again, right?
Yeah.
You know, anytime the owner's got to come out on the media towards the end of the after a game and say no, we're not firing our coach, probably not a good time. So, you know, again, we call it cleaning up the mess, and Jacksonville's quite the mess right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, hopefully they'll clean it up. There's still a lot of time left.
There is, and they're in a division where, again, if you roll a couple wins off, you're right back in it. Again, no one's going to run away with this thing. So from that standpoint, the benefit is there that they could climb back into it. 8-8 might win this division, and
yeah,
exactly.
It really might.
Yeah, 7-9. We've seen that.
Yeah, nobody's separating themselves so far. So, I mean, anybody can take it, but my best bet might be either the Titans or Texans might be fighting for that wild card spot at this point.
I mean, I'll say one more thing about Jacksonville. I don't obviously follow Jacksonville. They're not my team. I watch them when I can, and I happened to be watching last week over at my buddy's house. We had one of the TVs on and had the Jacksonville game on. I remember the wide receiver Lee coming off the field, and this is a perfect example of this team, I think, falling apart. Marquise Lee coming off the field. One of the coaches, I don't think it was Gus Bradley, it was another assistant coach. He just kind of shoved the assistant coach away from him and just stormed down the sideline like a maniac. And his players were trying to grab him and trying to calm him down, and coaches were coming over, and he wanted nothing to do with anybody. To me, that just shows me that the frustration level is so high. And yeah, you don't like to lose, but there's a point where you got to be professional and try to get together. And again, another example last night where this team is just coming apart at the seams. I think it's a shame.
Yeah. And it's been happening since probably the last week or two with Malik Jackson last week and Jalen Ramsey with their penalties. Malik Jackson got ejected.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of a problem with just being disciplined and just staying intact and just doing the right things, and that's not happening right now.
And off of that, my last thing is, you talk about Malik Jackson. Here's a guy who comes over from Denver, wins the Super Bowl, gets a lot of money. A lot of money. At this point in his career, the money should be enough for him to, even something like this happening, to just, not to brush it off, but just to be a little more professional about it. You see the frustration on his face, and it's times 15 down there right now. I mean, everybody is just... They're just chomping at the bit right now to get at somebody, to get somebody's ass out of there. And I think Gus Bradley, unfortunately, is going to be the fall guy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, at this point, all fingers are pointing at Gus Bradley. So, I mean, if it was my organization, he might be off the door at this point because, I mean, got to have some form of leadership. And we brought Malik Jackson over for that, and it's not happening. So.
Yeah. Prince Akamora, too. Brought him over. I mean,
Prince Akamora. You got to mentor all those young players. You got a lot of young guys. So we need somebody for them to look up to.
Absolutely.
Well, we want to thank our buddy, pal. We don't talk to him enough, but unfortunately, fortunately, I think the Jags would be bad enough we could probably get him back on the show a couple more times. So, Princeton, we always love talking to you, pal. Thanks for coming on such short notice. We appreciate it.
No problem.
And anytime there's a problem or issue or anything going on in Jacksonville, Princeton will be the man. We'll get him on speed dial. I'm sure he'll come on and take a little pain. We actually didn't rip him that day.
So if and when Gus Bradley gets fired,
we'll have the speed dial. We'll have him on that night. And you know what's funny? Because some guys don't like to come on and get ripped. Prince is a good guy. We didn't rip because we love him so much.
Listen, we both called the Jags to be good this year. So there's a little egg on our faces too.
I almost wore the Jacksonville shirt here.
I bought in.
Yeah, exactly. I almost had the Ramsey jersey on my back. I mean, I was so in love with him. But we will see. So again, Princeton, thank you very much. And again, that's all the time we have for Sports Box. We want to thank you for watching. Remember, always got good stuff coming.
And of course, to find that good stuff, it's on Twitter at SportsBox Show. All the links are on Facebook, and of course, the YouTube channel. Where if you haven't subscribed yet, I have no idea what you're waiting for. If you're waiting for Gus Bradley to get fired to subscribe to the YouTube channel, you might get your wish sooner than later.
Exactly. And from Princeton, from myself, and from Brian, remember the only opinion that matters. Princeton, do you know?
Say that again.
Princeton, the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters is where.
Win.
It's right here. He knows. We'll teach him. Don't worry about it. We'll get him. Go Jags. Talk to you later. See ya.
Don't forget to subscribe.